What is going on, Jasmy family? Welcome back to Run My Crypto, guys. I've been super busy, but I got a great exciting video for you today. We're going to cover Jasmy, and I may have messed up a little bit, but not to the point where I messed up in a bad way. I messed up in a good way, because I think Jasmy, after looking at the psychology of a market cycle, it seems to me that we are at the very beginning stages of this bull run. So make sure you guys watch all the way to the end. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, because Jasmy is going to go way beyond what I expected it to go. So guys, of course, I'm that $1 $50 billion market cap. I think we're going to blow that out the water, and I want to basically give you guys a blueprint or a visual of why I believe that this is extremely possible. Guys, I made a mistake on the previous video. I thought we were in a higher place in the bull market, in the bull run, but now as I'm looking at where Jasmy did that massive correction and how it's playing out, guys, I'm super excited. So I hope you guys watch all the way through to the end so you could grab this knowledge that I'm about to spit on you. And I mean that in a good way. So let's get into this video, guys. Let's talk about it. This is very bullish information for Jasmy when it comes to looking at the performance of how Jasmy is doing in comparison to the psychology of a market cycle. Let's go. Let's get into it. So Jasmy family, I'm always excited to put out these videos when I see how things are playing out. And guys, you know, to be honest with you, I think I really jumped the gun when it came to following the psychology of a market cycle. Many people were thinking that we were far beyond, but guys, I think we're still on the tail end of the bear market going into this bull run. So I'm gonna pretty much, what I want to do is just kind of explain to you what I see in the performance on a daily basis, because when we look at the psychology of a market cycle, it's always on a daily. So whenever you see the psychology of a market cycle, it's based on daily average movements, and those are the time frames that we see reflected on the psychology of a market cycle. And it's so crazy because I thought we were actually potentially ahead of the psychology of a market cycle, but what I'm looking at now, and in comparison with Jasmy and the performance, guys, so when you talk about the psychology of a market cycle, it doesn't reflect off of every single cryptocurrency project on the time frame, right? So what I mean by that is that each project that is following in the psychology of a market cycle is going to reflect very differently because of the stages of the bull market or the bull cycle that we're in. So when I started looking a little more into detail, I'm seeing that this is very beautiful, positive information, because what I think is that we're on the cusp of Jasmy blowing up in a major way, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. So let's hop on the psychology of a market cycle real quick so we could talk about that. We're going to pull up the Jasmy chart and look at what Jasmy's doing on the daily in comparison to the psychology of a market cycle, guys. And this is a proven tool. This is what many investors use. They use this psychology of a market cycle table so they can understand where potentially their investment is at the time of this specific cycle. So let's get into it. Let's take a look, guys. I'm super bullish on Jasmy. I am so happy that we took that pullback, because now we're essentially in a position where Jasmy can actually go parabolic, and we still got plenty of room, which tells me we're still early. So let's check it out. I'm going to go ahead and leave this display on full screen so you can see everything. I'm going to try to direct and dictate and talk through with this little blue dot on this this chart. So guys, I was essentially thinking we were already in the hope to optimism stage, where now I felt like, you know, we had that big pump up with a little bit of correction, and, you know, we were starting to make our way in here. I was assuming that we potentially, you know, obviously went to that 4-cent level right here, and then obviously pulled back down to that 2-cent level and climbed up in through here. But now this could actually be potentially where we're at. But the thing that really doesn't jive is this really runs in a straight higher pattern. So I'm more convinced that we are still lingering on the back end of this bear market. And what I mean by that is I feel like we're more still dealing with the depression to the disbelief stage, which kind of falls in this area right here. So this is just a blown up expression of what this stage is down in here. Because when I started to look at the chart and I started to look at what Jasmy's doing in the performance, we're very identical to this position right here in this depression to disbelief area. Now, why I believe that is true, because if I go into the trading view chart for trading view chart, and guys, this is on the daily. Now we run this on Heikin-Ashi candles. So as I start to pan out, right, so I'm gonna just kind of pan it out a little bit, and I'm looking at the formation that it's really forming, right? So we have this kind of, you know, this run up with this little bounce, and you know, if we go back to, right, you see it's kind of stretching this way, right? We got that run up and that pullback, and then, you know, we start to, you know, get the little you know, climb in there, and then boom, a solid pullback. Now, keeping these two patterns in mind, right, we look like, you know, it's kind of like starting to form out, but I feel like we're barely building in these areas right here, right? You know, that run up to the 4 and then pull back down to the 2, and that kind of levels us out right there, and then back up, we're pushing back up into that 3 level. So hopefully that, you know, look, you got that leg up with the kick out pattern. So in this area right here is kind of the consolidation phases of where Jasmy is. So we have that run up to that 2 cents consolidating, and then run up to 3 cents with consolidation, up to 4 cents, and then you could see a drop back down to that potentially what could be 2 cent area. Now that could be also true coming up in this area with that consolidation. So we have that pump up, consolidation, and then another rally up with consolidation, and then a rally up, and then we see a pullback. And this is where I'm wondering, are we in this area right here, or are we potentially in this area? Because you know, they're not going to be identical, but we kind of see that rally up, and then, you know, boom to that 4 cents where we thought we were going to break higher, but then we pull back, which would put us in, I believe it's going to be this area down in here, which is kind of squashed up. So if this is true and this holds true, we could potentially be very much starting the beginning of this bull run, which would potentially allow Jasmy to run up a significantly high level. Now, if this is true, like I said, and we're over here in these areas, or we're just, you know, starting this path right here down here, which would be up in here in this path of disbelief, right? We still have from disbelief to hope area, from hope to optimism, from optimism to belief, and then from belief to thrill, and then thrill to euphoria. And if that is true, we'll be in a very, very good place for Jasmy. Now, if we take a look at, you know, this accumulation phase, we went through a long accumulation phase for Jasmy coin. Then we started to see some positive momentum. Now this is kind of where we're at too, right here at the beginning stages, and this is like every phase of a bull run, right? So, you know, we still have tons of room to grow, even if this pattern right here, this breakout from accumulation, and then we start forming an uptrend, and then price goes above the 200 moving average. And this basically is the performance of an entire bull run. You know, literally, we're still at the very beginning stages. So even either which way you look at it, and using these charts, we're in a very, very early and good position to get into Jasmy. So really, the main thing I wanted to note in this video is to let all you investors who are currently invested in Jasmy know that you're in a very good spot. Because if we look at, you know, even if I am incorrect about us being at the end stage of the previous bear market going into the bull run, and we look at even being a little bit of ahead of the scale in the current bull run, the way that the you know, the chart is trending for Jasmy, it makes a lot of sense that we could validate that we could potentially be in both that end stage of the bull run and both the beginning stage of the bull run. My bad, I think I just messed up. But anyways, we could be in the end stage of the bear market starting into the new bull run, but we could also be in the beginning stages of this coming bull run. Now, these are very, very healthy pullbacks for everybody to get in. So these are opportunities, but these opportunities will not last, especially as we start to enter in the end of this summer. So, I mean, you know, maybe the summer is your last chance to accumulate as much as you possibly can of Jasmy before we start getting into the fall season. And we're seeing a lot of tokens come out of Binance. We have that validated. I think Rob went ahead and talked about that, if I'm not mistaken, or Steph, one of them talked about how Binance moved out some Jasmy tokens, or they moved Jasmy off of Binance and put it into a cold wallet. Now, why is that? Because they're taking the Jasmy tokens off of the exchange and they're putting them into their cold wallets because they know that Jasmy is going to blow up. These are the signs that we're starting to see that people are preparing for the money to come in, because they're taking it off because they know that potentially we could see some major up movement for Jasmy, because you don't want, $10,000 or $50,000 sitting on an exchange that could potentially 5, 10, 20, 30x on an exchange, and then we start to continuously pump up. It's tough to make a decision to leave, maybe close to a couple $100,000 on an exchange, and obviously to keep it safe. And that we're going to start going into this bull cycle, that you want to keep your coins safe and off the exchange, because during the bull market anything is possible to happen in exchanges, and you don't want to have your money locked up and tied up, because you want to have access to your money. That's why they always say, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto, because if you don't have full custody of your crypto on a cold storage wallet or anything like that, then there's some probability that it could get taken or stolen, or something crazy might happen. If it's on an exchange, you could lose it. It's super risky right now until we get full regulation, and we know that our cryptocurrency is safe. It's always good to store it in a cold storage wallet or something of that nature. So I hope you guys did like this. I hope it made some sense, either which way it pans out, and it's valid either way. There's validation on either end. It's not to the T, but it's exciting to know that we're potentially in the very beginning stages of this bull run. So for all you Jasmy investors, much love to you guys, all the Jasmy family, Jasmy community. Let's stay bullish until we get to the peak of this bull run and make some major money in this up and coming bull run, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell notification, share this with as many people as you can. Take care. Be blessed.